hear the fans, obviously, because we hear them. They tweet at us. They're in our chat. Obviously, the world's crumbling down. LSU's not going to win a game this year. They're very bad. Brian Kelly was the wrong hire. They love to press the panic button, and they don't really understand I say they. I'm not saying they don't understand, but it's hard to grasp hey, it takes time to build chemistry with a new team, all these types of things. Oh, the O-line was supposed to be better, but they're not, right? And they said, well, okay, how do you combat that? Like, how, as a quarterback and as an offense, how do you compensate for an offensive line that really hasn't gelled yet, right? Obviously, that's probably a big reason why the run game wasn't as successful and as consistent. That was probably why maybe Jaden Daniels had some happy feet early on in the game, but then you saw a change in the second half. Is it quick passes? Is it more motions? Is it more recognition from Jaden Daniels? How do you combat an offensive line that's still trying to come together and make them successful with what they have right now on the field?
And an identity and really knowing your personnel, knowing the strengths of, your personnel. Are we a inside zone team or are we a outside zone team? I'm quite sure going into that game and obviously going into the spring offensively, you have a certain scheme that you would like to go in based off your personnel. So it's really just getting comfortable within your scheme. That's the first time that they were able to go against somebody else besides themselves. So they really got put to test. And, good coaches, good organizations and programs, they're able to make adjustments, which we were able to see in the second half. I'm quite sure that conversation at halftime just came from, guys, let's just relax and play the ball that we know how to play. Let's stay within our game plan and watch our success. So it really just comes to, having faith, being comfortable, playing with confidence, which moving forward, I'm quite sure that confidence would be built. It comes with a lot of film study, just being on the same page. I used to a lot of times go and sit down with my offensive coordinator to have, a better concept of our game plan to the point to where when it came to facilitating and being efficient on the field, everybody can understand, exactly what we expect and exactly what the standard is. Obviously, football comes with a lot of adversity. It comes with a lot of challenges, and football is a game of inches. If the right tackle steps too far to, the right, that could throw off the running game. If the running back doesn't take the proper footing, there's certain things that can, affect the football game and the scheme. So honestly, it just comes to really being coachable, really looking at the film, correcting the issues, eliminating mistakes and missed assignments. They may have a lot of missed assignments that we don't know of that could be the result of what we saw. So once they correct all of their imperfections, I can see, a better result moving forward.
So I'm not gonna put words in your mouth, but to me it
sounds like you're about to.
It sounds like you're on the side of it wasn't as bad as Rome is burning as it sounded like that we've kind of heard throughout, as a resounding sound throughout town and kind of throughout like sports media when it comes to watching that game. What is your take? How do you see it? Do you see it as oh man, they're in a bad spot, or a lot of the things they can do that they've done can be fixed and they're on a good path of being able to be in a good team?
When you lose a head coach, that automatically puts you in a tough spot. That puts you in a tough spot with recruiting. That puts you in a tough spot with your current personnel. And you're not necessarily sure what the future may be moving forward. So when you bring in a new head coach, he now has to come in and pick up where that coach left off. Now, we all know last year's schedule wasn't that great. And they had a lot of adversity that they had to overcome. And to come in and kind of clean that type of concept up, I can imagine it's very tough. I mean, even from a recruiting standpoint, you recruit late. When it comes to, building your team, you have to sit down with each individual one by one, and you didn't recruit any of these guys. So now you have to make sure everybody buy in. Everybody's on the same page. So, with them losing, by 1 point, I don't think it was a bad performance. It's something that they can grow from. Now, we would like to see more from the running game. We would like to see more from certain individuals offensively and defensively to put themselves in better situations. But when you sit back and look at the statistics in certain areas, you were able to see positives. But obviously, we all know the result when you hit the panic button. You panic currently, and then when things get back on track, you fully stand behind. So I stand behind the improvement that will be moving forward. And I have, definitely faith in the performance that I saw. It's just a more getting on the same page and correcting the mistakes.
I mean, I have confidence simply in the fact that you saw a different team from the first and second quarter than you did in the third and fourth quarter, and you saw a better team towards the end of the third and fourth quarter when the game was on the line. When you have to have it, gotta have it, drive 99 yards, a minute and 20 seconds, 2 timeouts. Everybody knew what they were supposed to do. Everybody had the right role. Everybody was making plays. And, I want to get your perspective in that situation because you have to go the absolute length of the field in the last drive of the game. It's either do or die. You either do this or you lose, right? And you got to go 99.5 yards in a minute and 20 seconds, and you do it. How hard is that and how impressive? Because I don't think people are giving that drive enough credit.
I don't think people really give that second half a lot of credit. I mean, even from the defensive standpoint of forcing a turnover on the 1 yard line or, getting a big stop to actually, put Florida State in position to punt with 2 minutes left. I mean, that was very big. I mean, if it came from a sack or, just I think it's a lot of credit that should be given to that drive. Obviously, going 99 yards and overcoming that form of adversity is pretty tough. I think, Dane's made some great completions on that play. He had a nice over route to number 7, a nice scramble on, 3rd and 15 to get the first down. He made great decisions. There was no mistakes that was really made, no interceptions, no real fumbles like that. Obviously, a lot of their mistakes came from missed assignments, came from special teams, when it came to blocking the field goal, not stepping too far from the left, and both the edge rusher and the left tackle putting the hand on the guy that obviously is splitting the defender. So it's small things that could be corrected, and I can see forms of improvement from that second half offensively and defensively. Once, you get all three of these phases on the same page, you could definitely see a different outcome.